Good afternoon. At least where I am, it's afternoon. So, gender equality has been a topic that has been in the media for quite some time now. I haven't really paid attention to it, but I finally did. And I found a story that I believe could provide an answer as to why. Welcome to the channel. My name is Adventure. If you like the things we talk about on this channel, like, subscribe, and maybe share. So, women want equal rights as men. I've never really answered this question, but I came across a story that made me think twice about all this. And the story comes from the Apocrypha books. Yeah, I was being curious. I stumbled upon this, and it's the story of Susanna. Now, I'm going to paraphrase this story, and maybe you could find the book and read it. It's only one chapter, about 50 verses. Now, in this story of Susanna is married to a man of God in the time when Israelites were slaves in Babylon. And Jeremiah had told them that when they go to Babylon, they shouldn't fight and they should not go against the government of Babylon or the kingdom of Babylon. He actually advised them to live among them, to build homes, and to have children. And this story occurs in the times of Daniel. I like Daniel. So, Joachim was a man, an Israelite in Babylon. And he was very wealthy and he was blessed. You know the way the Bible says when God blesses his people. And he had a big house, and adjacent to his house he had a very beautiful garden. And because he was so wealthy, and apparently he was a man of God, many people liked to bring their problems to him. He was more like a judge. And he went and got a wife who was of fair beauty. Her name was Susanna, who was also raised in the Israelites' tradition. And basically, they're trying to say she was a woman of God, and she was beautiful. But at that time too, there were two other judges of Babylonian heritage, and these judges were evil, kind of like the corrupt leaders of today. And every day, Susanna would go to the garden, her husband's garden, to take a shower. And these two judges, I believe they did this separately at first. They would go, one day when Susanna had gone to take a bath, I don't know if it was one or both, they saw her going to take a bath in the garden and they were stunned by her beauty. And they wanted her, but they had never met each other. So every day they would wait by the fence of the garden just to see Susanna going to take a bath. They were perverts, basically, stalking, So one day, the two judges met face to face there, but they did not know why the other judge, this is one of those corrupt judges, was out there in the garden, and they were very ashamed. They did not want the other judge to know why they were there. So they acted like they wanted to go away. So they walked away to a point where they parted ways. And then after they parted ways, both of the judges separately made a U-turn and went to look at the calves of this beautiful honey. Women really do drive us crazy. And after they met there for the second time, they were both honest to one another, and they revealed to each other that they wanted her. They were lustful for her. And so there they made a deal. They made a deal that they would wait until the day Susanna would be alone in the garden, and then they would go to her, and then maybe they would have her way with her. So many days passed while they were busy stalking her, until one day Susanna went to take a bath, and it happened that she had forgotten her ointments. Basically, that's the equivalent of makeup and deodorant and stuff, the things women use to make themselves look appealing for us or for themselves. So Susanna sent her maid servants to go and get her the ointments. At that time, those two corrupt judges, they jumped over the fence and they ran to where Susanna was. And they told her, "Let us have sex with you." I'm paraphrasing. "Let us have sex with you. If not, since we are members of the council and we are respected, we will tell the council that we saw you with a younger man who ran and jumped over the fence when they found her with him." So Susanna, being a God-fearing woman, decided that it is better she dies other than commit such a sin. Now, in those days, unfaithfulness was punishable by death. If you were found committing adultery, you would be sentenced to death. So Susanna said she'd rather die than do that thing, and she screamed. So when she screamed, the maidservants came back, and everyone heard her. And when everybody came to the garden, the two corrupt judges told the people the false story about how they had met Susanna with a younger man who had fled when the two judges found them together. And so they went to court. Now, in those days, you have to believe women were not a part of running the state. They were not a part, their voices were not heard. Everything was run by men. So when a man said something in those days, it was believed to be true. Let alone those men, let alone a judge, just a normal man. If a normal man, any other hillbilly, any other Ken, Dick, and Harry, said anything against a woman, it would be taken as fact. So the judges, they went and they to Joachim, and Susanna was called, and a court session started. And in the court session, the corrupt judges retold their story. And after they had said it, judgment was passed, and Susanna was to be sentenced to death. So Susanna was grabbed and she was led to a place where she would be put to death. But on their way there, Daniel, the prophet, who was one of the king's closest advisors, I believe you know the story of Daniel. It is said that he received the Spirit of God, and he went to that mob and he told them, I'm paraphrasing, "Why do you condemn someone to death without letting them defend themselves?" So Daniel told them, "Let's go back to court and I will prove to you that this woman is innocent." Because apparently God had sent him the truth. He knew the truth. So when they went back to court, Daniel told the court to separate the two corrupt judges and asked them to be brought to the court one by one. The first judge came and Daniel asked him a question. "Under what tree did you see Susanna with this alleged younger man?" The judge said, the first judge said, "A sycamore tree." And the judge was taken out of the court session, and then the other judge was brought in. The other judge was still asked the same question, and he said a different tree. I don't remember, but for the sake of the story, we'll just say a mahogany tree. So the judges had told a lie, but the thing with telling a lie, you have to be very careful about the details, because liars always skip something. They always miss something. And after Daniel had cross-examined both of them, it was discovered that the two judges had bared false witness on Susanna, and it was they who were put to death. Now, coming back to the story of gender equality, from the story of Susanna, it's an apocryphal book, like I said at the beginning. Based on that story, I have made my choice about whether women deserve gender equality. Of course, there will be some people who will misuse that equality. Some women will misuse it, and some men, basically men have always enjoyed being at the top of the table, at the head of the table. But based on that story, for me, I know whether they deserve it or not, because this is one of those stories where gender inequality could have sentenced an innocent person to die. I don't know about what you have decided. If you'd like to share, please, you can put it in the comment. Thank you for walking down this adventurous route with me. I'll see you next time. Adventure out.